Hi, welcome back to Science 1206, the Weather Dynamics Unit. I'm Ms. Ledwell, and in this video, we'll talk about convection and advection. Let's begin. Remember that convection is the transfer of heat in liquids and gases that occurs when particles move in a circulating pathway. It is the process in which a warm liquid or gas moves from one place to another, carrying heat with it. Convection currents are patterns of movement where warmer gas or liquid rises and cooler gas or liquid falls to replace it. Let's look at some examples of convection currents. First, we'll look at convection currents in wind. When air is heated by the sun, it expands and becomes lighter or less dense. Remember that less dense fluids, liquids and gases, rise, and more dense fluids fall. Therefore, this warm air rises. Let's take a look at this animation of convection currents. As the air is heated, it expands, spreads out, and gets lighter. It begins to rise. The warm air travels across the ceiling, and then the air begins to cool as it moves away from the heat source. As it cools, the air begins to contract. It moves closer together. The cooler air is now heavier and begins to sink. The cool, heavy air moves back to the heat source to replace the air that has risen. This cycle continues as long as there is a heat source. Now let's look at an example of convection currents in the ocean. Convection currents occur in the ocean when warmer, less dense water rises and cooler, denser water sinks, creating a continuous circulation pattern. Ocean convection is vital in regulating the Earth's climate by distributing heat. Warm water transported from the equator towards the poles cools and sinks, while cold water from the poles heats up and rises, moving towards the equator. Convection is the most important type of energy transfer for weather systems, as it is the primary mechanism that distributes heat throughout the oceans and atmosphere. Advection is a term used in meteorology and oceanography. Advection is a horizontal transfer of heat or matter in the fluids of the atmosphere or ocean. Note that advection refers to the horizontal movement of heat or matter, while convection is the vertical transfer of heat. Advection plays a significant role in shaping weather patterns. For example, in coastal areas, advection can bring in cooler, moist ocean air, which can lower temperatures and increase fog or humidity. Now it's time to continue to the next video. Before you do, take a 30-second break, get up for a little stretch, then get ready to learn more about the weather.